Hello and welcome to the My Brand, My Story project, where we talk about what it's like running a business, its ups and downs, and everything in between. If you'd like to participate, check out this episode's description. Hi and welcome to the My Brand, My Story project. Today with us we have Kelly Markey. Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in South Africa. I am a Kiwi citizen and happily domiciled in Australia now, a wife to a true blue Australian. I love helping people and I work in medical IT, so my passion is health and recently helping humanity.
Cool. And so what else do you get up to?
I love traveling. I love entertaining, cooking, and recently added to my string is writing. So I've authored a book.
Cool. And what book is that? And what is it about?
So it's called Don't Just Fly, Soar. It's an inspirational, motivational memoir, also including 25 tools to help the reader to enhance their life and take it to the next level.
All right. And what made you want to start writing?
So I guess finding out the world finding themselves in the global pandemic and people were in mayhem. And I've had lots of people contact me for inspiration or motivation and, just wanting to reach out and talk and find, I guess, some kind of sense to everything that was happening. And then I thought, wow, not that I've lived through a pandemic, but I've had so much of life experience that I could help with just daily motivation. And then I just sat down and I wrote in 10 days and it was like, wow. And then it just flowed, with coming on with the tools. And people read my manuscript and it was like, wow, this is brilliant. So here we are.
That's great to hear. And it definitely has become harder to be motivated, especially after the pandemic. And what is today's single most important goal for you in your writing?
It is definitely to bring social change. So I've written about my own personal experience growing up in South Africa where apartheid reigns. And, when people talk about discrimination and apartheid, they naturally think of South Africa. But I've lived and worked outside South Africa and many other countries. It reigns everywhere. So my passion is to bring about that lasting social change and awareness. So people are not, living in a bubble thinking that it doesn't affect people outside of South Africa.
Yeah. And so what's the dream with this writing? And is there an end game?
Well, trying to transform mindsets and lives, I don't think there's an end game to it. So my goal is to bring awareness and hopefully transform minds, mindset that was, I guess, in a certain box to get people to think outside that box.
And what's been like the biggest challenge for you so far?
Well, in terms of the book, writing, I think the biggest challenge is, trusting that people would be for the cause and they will be on your bandwagon and help you to accomplish your goals. But really, you need to champion that yourself as an author.
And through these challenges, is there a time you wanted to quit? And if so, how did you get over that?
Oh, yes, it's very real. It's not an easy gig to be an author. I remember sending my manuscript to a renowned author who's actually in the Hall of Fame, and I asked him to write me a book acclaim before I went into publishing. And the response I got was very negative, and it really derailed me. And then it made me question, should I really publish this? Because, I'm not published, and here this is an opinion from someone who's in the Hall of Fame. It's right up there. And it really kind of shook me, but it didn't last long because the exact day, a few hours later, I got a message from an editor who read my manuscript, and she was like, wow, this is a page turner and I cannot put it down. It's so inspirational. And she said to me, I would love to write a foreword for your book. And she also asked me to become a brand ambassador for her magazine, and I wrote monthly articles for her magazine. And it just confirmed to me that, you don't need to rely on other people's opinion, because if you rely on other people to set the boundaries for you, they'll start really low and they'll remain there. So you need to, find your own mojo.
Yeah. And I guess you could say that, different people have different opinions about certain genres. And, like you said, one person had a very negative feedback and the other one loved it. Absolutely. Yeah. So how do you get readers? Like through what sources? Through perhaps your social media, or is there any other ways?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely social media helps a lot. So I have Instagram, Facebook, and a lot of my readers are coming from recommendations. So, readers recommending it. And it's just, taking the world by storm. I've had readers that purchased my ebook and, read the entire 350 pages on their phone and recommended it to their network, and people have purchased, and I've become a bestseller within less than an hour of my book launching.
Wow. So now that you have obviously these recommendations coming in from word of mouth, well, how did you, have that initial, how did you kind of PR your book?
I had a professional marketing campaign. My publisher has helped me with marketing as well, in terms of marketing internationally and locally.
Mm-hmm. How do you personally define business success? Is it money? Is it the freedom that you get? Or perhaps something else?
I guess it's many facets or, components rolled in one. For me, it's definitely experience that you bring to the table, and building goodwill for me is a tick.
That's definitely important. So it's like a sense of self-achievement or like actualization.
Yes.
And would you say you have reached success yet, or is there still a long way to go?
I would say several times I have. I've reached, ticked the box, got the T-shirt, and moving to the next.
The next challenge.
The next challenge or the next level of success.
Yeah. So keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I like that. And how do you view money? What does it represent to you?
It's a resource to me. I see it as a resource to help others. So all the profits from the sale of my book is donated to the developing world to help people, especially women. So I see it as a stepping stone to give others opportunity.
Yep. That definitely is a resource, and one that you need a lot these days.
Yeah.
So education or experience, what do you think comes first? I
say it's important to have education. It definitely gives you foundation. But experience is a great teacher, and it has its weight in the journey. And personally, I've stepped away from my nucleus, from my family, and living in a foreign country, several different foreign countries, and experience has brought on so much. In the corporate world, I have peers that have, a dozen of qualification to their name, but don't really have that tangible experience. And at the end of the day, I find that experience shows more.
Right, yeah. I think it definitely does show more, especially in like how quickly the world is evolving.
Yeah.
And how do you balance your work-life balance? You say you've got a corporate job, but at the same time you're writing and you've got a family. How do you do it?
Look, it's an art. I think early in the piece, because I have such a demanding corporate role, I had to find my balance. And for me, it's, unplugging and unwinding on a regular basis. So work is a pressure cooker, and I have to know that when I walk out of work, then I'm in the next element, and I get to spend that time with whoever's, there with me and be present in the moment. Also make time for, nature. I spend a lot of time in national parks doing, the whole nature walks and all of that. So unwinding.
Okay. I'm assuming it is pretty hard though to, be able to walk out of work and then just kind of switch your brain to a different part and, more family and oriented and just...
Yeah, definitely. I think what helps me is the fact that I enjoy what I'm doing. I've been in health IT for over almost 3 decades now, so it comes naturally. So I'm not feeling like when I'm at work, even though it's hard and it could be pressurizing, I'm enjoying it because I'm in my element. I'm making a difference already in what I'm doing. So I don't feel drained at the end of the day.
I think that's really important. And what would be the favorite thing about being a writer?
I think the most important thing is having the ability to influence in a positive way and make a difference.
And what is a lesson that you think is most important for every aspiring writer or current writer to learn, and why?
Definitely, I guess for rookies is marketing. Do your marketing, like when you're purchasing property, they say location, location, location. In writing, it's like marketing, 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 and you need to market your book well before you hit the publishing, milestone, because that's what makes your book a success, the marketing. And you don't think of that after you have the book in your hand. You need to start that, while you're actually writing the book.
And yeah, and what would you say to someone who's wanting to, start writing, but they're just not, making that first move?
Persevere and, find what works for you. I think it's good to be honest with yourself in terms of your value, what moves you, what you want to portray as an author. And if you have that passion, it will come naturally. You don't have to dig for zeal. Mm-hmm. It will just flow.
I agree. And what book should every business owner read?
For me personally, I like Long Walk to Freedom, Nelson Mandela, because it gives me the vision that you can achieve so much, even in the season where you think, it's a season where you're going through a hard time. Like, Mandela was in jail for 26 years. He didn't just sit there and wait to be released. His mind was actively engaged in the goal. So it's really a book that has impacted my life in a positive way.
That's amazing to hear. So where can people find your book? Where can they find you?
So my book is available on all major platforms. So the likes of Amazon, Cool Wrong, Booktopia, and 40,000 others. But if you want a signed copy, you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. That's Kelly Markey. And I have a page which is Kelly Markey Author as well. And I have a website which is kellymarkeyaswell.com.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for coming today and sharing about your book and your experiences of, getting into writing. We wish you success.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me over.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on our next video.